Trucks present the McCarthy Tire Summer 4-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree Nationals, where you'll find true trucking aficionados and armies with one right now.
Well, Gary, when you go to these events, you never know who you're going to run into. Hey, our old buddy Ed Bruce from Trucking USA showed up. Hey, welcome, Ed. Good seeing you.
Good to see you. It's great to be here. I heard this was the biggest and the best.
Oh, I tell you what, they're from all over the country here. And you know, you get to travel all over the country each and every week. I do, too. I think the secret is you and I got the best jobs in the world.
It may be. You know, trucks have always been a big part of my life. Actually, I learned to drive on an old 1950 F100. That's been over 40 years ago.
That's when you were 1 year old, right?
Yeah, that's close enough.
I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to go some monster truck racing. Thanks a lot for coming. Have a great time. That's what jamborees are all about.
My pleasure, Army. Thank you, buddy.
Nice to see Ed Bruce here. As we're ready for semifinal action, we take a look at the Power Wheels Bigfoot against Bigfoot, Overkill, and Barefoot. So a good mixture of trucks there, but the first pairing will be Bigfoot.
You get down into this thing, it's Dr. Scholl's special. You know why? 3 of the 4 trucks got foot in the name.
So you get paid the big money for coming up with lines like that. Well, of course, you have this analytical expertise because you can tell us why that left lane has been so bad. All the winds coming from the right lane today. Army earlier looked to the left lane. Gary, what we're looking at here is the starting line in the left lane of Bloomsburg. Look how deep they dug down in the track. This is about an 8 or 9 inch depth on the right side of the passenger side of the truck. Now, come over here with me. On the driver's side of the truck, right here, it's only about 3 or 4 inches that's been dug up. So what that does is basically set the chassis. We may have found out why these guys are having trouble with this lane on the track. They're actually setting a little bit cockeyed on the starting line, so when they hit the first jump, it throws the truck out of kilter, and they never have a chance to recover it. Back to you, Gary. In this sport, they want weight transfer front to back, but not side to side. We prepare now for a Bigfoot shootout. Couple of vehicles are identical. Firestone, Ford, supercharged by BDS. Keep going. What you're saying is these trucks are almost identical. Yeah, if you're in the decal business, you got all kind of decals out there right now. All the sponsors represented on the side of these guys. You know, they do bring a lot of exposure to their national sponsors, and that's what it's all about. Looky here. Near lane. Oh, Runte really drilled Press. He got the whole shot, and it was all Dan Runte. Dan Runte caught a Brass asleep at the wheel. Oh, that's something you just don't see. No, well, the ET wasn't there either. 560, so. Take a look again, but the left side there, lane nearest the camera, and a big hole shot, a big margin right there for Dan Runte. And here is Dan Runte with Army Armstrong. Looks like a real hard race between you and Andy, but it looked like he had some kind of a problem on the starting line. Were you aware of that?
No, I wasn't. He didn't say anything. We all got radio communications. He didn't say anything on the line. It appears he lost his brakes on the line, so he had to go up to neutral to stay at the line without falling through into the red light beam. It was real tough. I figured he'd be more of a run than that, but with the problem like that, you can't do anything but what he did.
Well, Kirk Dabney, in his first Final Four appearance of the year, will take on Fred Schaefer. Earlier, Army had a chance to talk to Fred about the caliber of competition in today's Penda points race.
Everybody's running real close. Closest times I think I've ever seen in one of these races. So everybody's out there trashing to get those few hundreds in between rounds. That's what we're looking for.
It's amazing on a course where you're running a 10,000-pound vehicle, it does come down to hundreds and thousands of seconds, doesn't it?
It sure does. The qualifying, you can see how close the qualifying was. It was real close. Closest I've ever seen.
Well, there's a look at Fred Schaefer, Pontoon Beach, Illinois. He pulls up against Kirk Dabney, the Overkill. Dabney's in what we've been calling the good lane. Schaefer goes to the bad lane. He referred to qualifying. Qualifying quickness can put you on the good side of this ledger. That's where Dabney is right now. You talked earlier about Fred Schaefer losing some chemistry. Well, maybe he's getting the chemistry back this weekend. He's overdue for a good run. Oh, man, everybody in the whole world thought he was going to dominate this series just like that run. Well, he did dominate that one. The far lane takes the victory. Fred Schaefer, 5 seconds. A good ET for Fred Schaefer. The best run he's had all season. Well, the world record is a 498. He goes a 5. Maybe he's found a handle, but the big story is, what lane was he running in, Gary? Well, he's been running in what we call the bad lane. So for him, anytime you win, it's a good lane. Man, oh man, and it looked good. It looked smooth. Well, a 5 flat, that's awesome. And here's a look coming right at you. This is your, what are you calling this? The
Groundhog cam. Yeah, we're in Pennsylvania. That's exactly what it is. Uh-oh.
We just lost the groundhog. There's Dan Runte and Jim Kramer looking over the lane as let's go down trackside and talk to Fred Schaefer.
On these national points now, you're doing exactly what you have to do, and Andy Brass is not. Maybe the luck's changed. Do you feel that way?
Army, that time we just ran there in that last round, we're looking real good on times, and if I can back that time up, we'll be looking real good in the final. I think we're going to go back to the right lane.
That's the worst lane in the world those guys want to hear over there. We'll see you in the final.
Thank you.
And that will be coming up. Fred Schaefer and Dan Runte. Stay with us.